morning and welcome to Insight on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. This is where we break down the issues that shape our nation and impact our daily lives. I'm Lawrence Omoite. Today we turn our attention to some of the most pressing national issues currently dominated, from governance and economy to security and the state of democracy. To help us make sense of these developments, I'm joined by a seasoned public affairs analyst, writer, and social commentator. His name is Jide Ojo. He brings years of experience in policy analysis and civic engagement, and he will be sharing his perspective on the challenges, opportunities, and way forward for Nigeria. Once again, stay with us as we bring clarity to the conversations that matter. This is Insight. All right, straight off to the program. Meanwhile, let's welcome our guest, Jide Ojo. Thank you so much for joining us, Jide.
It's my pleasure. Good morning, Larry.
Yes, good morning. It's been a while on Insight, although I keep tap of your media engagements every day, and I'm sure we will make up the data today at the end of the day.
I hope so too.
All right. So, Jide, let's start from the issue of loans. In the last couple of hours, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Dr. Tajuddin Abba, in the news where he warned that Nigeria's rising debt levels pose a significant threat to fiscal stability, development, and the welfare of future generations unless urgent action is taken. For some commentators, is this a case of coming a little bit late, or what is this?
I think as of yesterday evening, the speaker has walked it back and tried to claim that it was quoted out of context and all of that, because you cannot actually exonerate the National Assembly from our debt pillage.
Exactly.
They approved the laws, and they always have a justification for why they do that. But Nigerians are worried. We are worried to the extent that if this administration claimed that it removed subsidy and unified the exchange rate, which some financial experts will call arbitrage, in order to increase our revenue base, then why are we still borrowing at a scale that is unprecedented? Why can't we find other creative ways of funding our infrastructural deficit that is resulting to huge indebtedness? By the way, if I will enlighten Nigerians, millions of dollars are forgotten the actual amount that was borrowed for the turnaround maintenance of Warri and Port Harcourt refineries have gone down the drain. All those billions of dollars, what we are hearing is that part of that fund ended up in the private account of some NNPCL officials. And that's the worrisome part. It's one thing to say you are borrowing to feed infrastructure. It's another thing for that money to be misused, to be embezzled. And that's why it's not inspiring confidence in many of us about our rising debt profile. I've heard about a lot of grammatical thoughts here about this government having increased our foreign reserve and have improved our credit rating. But we should provide for future generations. I know America borrows, in fact, America is more indebted than many countries of the world, if not all the countries in the world. They still want to borrow the money for. In our own case, I just gave you the instance of the the Warrior Port Harcourt refineries, we have borrowed from the Chinese Exim and Exim Bank. And yet, a significant amount of that money, allegedly, according to EFCC sources, end up in coffers of the managers of those refineries. And yet, what we have is investigation is ongoing. After borrowing so much, for most of the projects that we have found money borrowed to fix, the support fund and all of that. This Abuja-Lokoja expressway was so the borrow from Sukuk. It could not that the download collapsed under 3 years after purportedly being fixed. Now it is being done because of corruption. Because of corruption. So you say that you are borrowing to fix infrastructure, but the infrastructure will not even endure. Look at what's happening with the newly commissioned Abuja Kaduna Rail. How long has it been operational? Now we are having series of derailment. So what I'm worried about, and I'm just not, it's not out of malice for this administration. I'm only calling for attention. That let's remember the future generation of this country. The children we are here to born. How would they fix this issue? There are ways by which you can fund projects without necessarily having to borrow at the level at which you are borrowing. What about the PPP? Public-private partnership. Can't we do that? We have the ICRC infrastructure concessioning reconstruction company or whatever was established many years ago. They are supposed to facilitate all these build, operate, and transfer, all these PPP arrangements. Now, I don't know if you have gone to Makurdi the recent past.
Yeah, I drove through there about a year ago.
I was in Makurdi September last year. It now takes about 4 hours maximum from Abuja to Lokoja. That road was done through BOT, build, operate, and transfer. And that's why that road now is world class. And even when the government held this year, was it late last year, decided to tow the road. I put in support of it. I'm in support. I think we have to do that for many of our major roads. Let's do it. Because I also understand. Government will claim to borrow trillions to fix infrastructure and they will not endure. They will, many of them, because of the cleaning off of all these, kickbacks, the contractor ended up doing shoddy jobs. Look at the case of Sujimoto, or Sujimoto Construction Company and
Enugu State
Enugu State government now. Look at how much was involved, billions of naira. Perhaps that money was borrowed, but those that are supposed to be built within 6 months have not even gotten to PVC level.
Oh, okay.
So we have a lot of wastages and a lot of corruption in the system. That procurement seems to be the weakest link in our fight against corruption. Much as we have the Bureau of Public Procurement, I think the last time that office worked best, to my knowledge, I may be wrong, and I want to be proved wrong, was when OPSA Kwesili was there. When he was there, was when that BPP, because you see all these BPP approval, you will see billions and trillions of approval for budget, for construction of certain things, and at the end of the day, a road that is supposed to be 6 inches high, they will go and construct 2 inches high. By the time the articulated vehicle fly that road within 6 months, the road has collapsed again. Look at the Abuja Kaduna road. It's not as if it has not been fixed. Right from the time of Goodluck Jonathan, that road has been receiving attention. But it kept failing. What was the problem? Because there's a lot of corruption in the process. Many of the contractors cannot come out to tell you what they have to go through in order to get that project awarded. Many of them have to ask for review, upward review of the current contractor. But what I'm saying is that when it is not wrong, now, it is not wrong to borrow. I borrow. Many Nigerians borrow at individual level. State government borrows, federal government borrows. Everybody borrows to do one good thing or the other. But many government officials that facilitate this borrowing, they will not spend as much of the borrowed funds on if they are the one that want to do those things. Like, let me give an example. If you want to in your house, perhaps you will spend maybe 3 to 5 million. When it is government, you will hear that same borrow is being done for 30 million per what? Why are we so wasteful? All because of corrupt tendencies. And this is borrowed funds that we are using lavishly. We are forced to do so many things, and there is no value for money. And that is the most painful part, because you still have to pay back this money. Exactly. The money that was borrowed to fix the Port Harcourt and Warri refineries, we still have to pay the Chinese back. Oh. Whether the refineries are working or not, we still have to pay back. So that is very painful to me.
All right, Jide. Okay, let's move on to party politics now. A lot has been happening in the political scene, especially concerning political parties. The All Progressives Congress seems to have stabilized after the leadership change. The PDP is still engulfed in controversy ahead of its national convention in Ibadan. The Labour Party is still experiencing internal bickering, and the ADC, well, some analysts believe is yet to really pull its weight. So, what's your take on all this that is happening in the political scene?
Well, what is happening in the political space is nothing unusual. Unless you have not been following political development. Every electoral cycle, you see all of this happening. The alignment and the alignment of forces. The opposition crying foul that they are being suppressed and oppressed by the ruling party. There will be internal wrangling even in the ruling, and we are going to get to the peak of that. Don't think it's going to abate. It is not good enough. It's a build-up. By this next year, when primaries will have to have been done and campaign will start, that's where you will see the politics at its full glare. And ahead of every electoral cycle, you will see defections, you will see new parties trying to work. We don't know yet whether INEC will eventually register among the 171 political associations or 117 political associations that he said has applied for registration. We don't know any of that will eventually make it to be granted the certificate to operate as a political party. But there's nothing, as a political scientist, as a political observer, as someone who has worked in politicians over the decades, I have not seen anything unusual. It's not like a replay. It's a deja vu. I'm always having a feeling of deja vu. All that they accuse APC of doing, PDP did the same thing for 16 years. It was 16 years of PDP and others. Wasn't it? It was PDP and others from 1999 to 2015. Now it's APC and others. Now the opposition is crying. Now there are allegations that it's the ruling party that is stabilizing them. In fact, one of the opposition chieftains made a very laughable remark. Sometimes, was it last year or early this year, when he said that they had it on good authority, that opposition party chieftains, governors, rather, the opposition party, I don't know whether it was Atiku Abubakar media handlers that said that they had it on good authority that governors are being moved to join APC with 50 million. And I'm not. Larry, is it not laughable? A government that controls billions of naira in budget, you will not offer him 50 million to defect. Does it even make sense? So whoever is saying that, even a senator, in the time of what's the point? In the time of Obasanjo, like there was allegation of that lawmakers were being wooed support Total. We were hearing 50 million. Did you remember?
I remember very well.
At the Galaxy TV that time.
Yes.
You people have covered it. Then when they said that, I think this day newspaper actually did an exclusive where he gave the bank, Zenith Bank, that was allegedly being used to disburse the money, and that it was 50 million that each of the senators and maybe lower some parts of it. That was in the list. That was around 2006.
Yes.
So you are giving people, and these are not governors, you are giving them 50 million way back then when money had a lot of value. In 2024-25, you will now be saying, come and take 50 million, try to answer. But you see, politicians will never cease to amaze me. Have you seen the trending video of Rufai, what he was saying about government in power and opposition? That the opposition will never make the government in power to look good. You have to package them. You will see it with all the emphasis. I've seen it trending. Share with me. You possibly have seen it. So it's what they showed. Today, Atiku Abubakar El-Rufai is saying that, oh, they are trying to run them out of town. What did they do when the 8 years they were in power? When El-Rufai was the governor of Kaduna State, did he tolerate the opposition? Did he tolerate that? Even then, he was APC governor. Did he tolerate almost all his allies? When he fell out of there, he made sure that he denied them return tickets. The Senator Nkuyis of this one, he ran Shehu Sani out of the APC. So many of them said go to places. He almost emptied the APC. But now, the table has turned. You are not right. Today, all the demonization of APC that the Rufai is doing, if he had been the SGF, of city, or if he were to be the minister of power, that then that they told him he was going to become, will he saying it? So when people are excluded from the dining table, they start saying that that food is a poison. But they will have relished it if they were there. So I don't take opposition very seriously. And that's why many people feel that we are not playing politics of development. It's politics of sit down or pull out down. Once it's not their way, it's highway. Of course, APC has its own issues. I wrote about it in my column in the Punch a couple of ahead of, I think I did two segments on APC. Candidate was, eased out of the party. And I warned about the aftermath of that. And I think recall that APC have had its own fair share of disability, political disability. How can you, in good conscience, say that in 10 years, how many years now? In 12 years that APC has been in existence, it has had eight national chairmen. 8. So there are not, none of them is even been up to 4 years. Ganduje just did 2 years. I think Senator Abdullah Adamu did 2 years. We don't know how long Professor Mentawe Boshe will be there. So it has had its own. Funny thing is that it has shown some more cohesion, party in power, and that can dispense favor. But the rank of opposition is also not every matter. Because many of those who are posturing as the leader of today, they were there. They were yesterday's men. Some of them were in this government. Look at the Malamis of this world. Was it not the Minister of Attorney General and Minister of Justice for 8 years? Today, it's the one championing that the CPC members in APC are being marginalized and they are going to pull out. So what do you want? He was of the CPC extraction. When many of them cornered the GC position under Buhari, there was no complaint. You know, Adebayo Shitu was a CPC. He was Minister of Communication. They made the Maladin Minister of Justice. Several of them like that. They got very charm and plump ministerial appointments. Some of them other MDA, leadership of MDA. But today, the table turns. The moment the table turns against the people in power, they become the messiah and the champion of democracy. That is how to build a nation. You have to show resilience. You must know that politics like sport, it's a game of win and lose. You can win all the time. Just like you don't also lose all the time. And sometimes you lose to win in politics. When I did an article on the current national chairman of APC, I said in that column, I said, politicians sometimes lose to win. It's not the governorship ticket, not the governorship election
in Plateau State, yes.
But what happened? A year after, he was the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs. Do you see the budget of Minister of Humanitarian Affairs?
Massive.
It's one of the grade A ministries. And it was there until he now became the national chairman of APC. Now, he is the one that will be signing the forms of all the governorship candidates in the party. You can see how God has exalted it. Even when he lost the governorship position, he has made a meteoric rise from being a minister to becoming the national chairman of the ruling party. So sometimes you win to lose. Many people jostle for political offices who contest. They do that for purposes of posturing, so that they are looking at possibility of compensation after the election. They can be considered. But my message to Nigeria political party leaders is that it's a chance. Let them engage in constructive criticism. We do not personalize issues. We are all stakeholders in this country. Whether you're a politician or not, the future of this country belongs to all of us. So all this issue of demonizing one person in support, I'm never a slave to politicians. I tolerate them, but nobody will ask me to go and do X, Y, Z. Because no matter what you do, people will still criticize you. As I'm talking now, some people are already think maybe it's of this party or it's of that party. I continue to tell them it's not about being partisan. I've never and will never be a political a partisan person. But you see, truth is always bitter. What we need is how do we engage the system to make it work better. For instance, I do tell people, if you belong to the opposition, to the party at the center, can you make the difference in your state as a governor? Make that difference. Because at the end of the day, Larry, it is party that really makes good governance possible. Parties are just sponsors. It's like somebody, I don't know whether you are a Catholic. You know, in Catholic, you sponsor with a wedding. You have a godfather. So they said somebody is a sponsor of somebody's wedding. Now, the issue is this. When people say, oh, this state is a PDP state, for so long, yes, it's a PDP state because it was convenient for the people of that state to support that party at that time. Now the dynamics is changing and changing very fast. Look at what has happened in the South region today. Many of the states in the South who used to be in one party have now demystified that they are now in another party. But in any event, today the reference of this one, the articles of this one, how do you even categorize them? Even Peter Obi of this one. Peter Obi has moved from ABDA to PDP, from PDP to Labour Party. Now in the last by-election is campaigning for APC. That is already 4 political parties, you know. And likewise, many other politicians. And our friend in the AIT used to criticize John Ponoji when he was anchoring Ray Power, program on Ray Power. But today, he is the one that defended his principal's defection to the ruling party in Delta. So power is dynamic. Life is dynamic. There is nothing like, this party win this country, that party win Nigeria. It is the people, the operators of those parties that win, not the party. Because at the end of the day, how many of these governors, how many presidents are really implementing the manifesto of their parties? You find that at the moment they get the ticket of the party, they organize or they want to set up their own campaign organization that is outside of the party structure. They communicating. So they will say they are running their own 5-point agenda, so it may not necessarily be in sync with the manifesto of their party. So at the end of the day, it's very easy for them to trade off based on interest and convenience. And that's why for politicians, you can kill yourself for their sake, but the main goal of a astute politician is where his interest is protected. That's why you see somebody say, I'm in this party today, I will try and leave this party. But when the situation changes, when the dynamic changes, find out that the same person is effect to another party, not a fit to the
all right, Jide, before we leave party politics, let's talk about the politics of zoning. Recently the PDP, at least I think it's the first party to have categorically stated that it is zoning the presidency or the presidential ticket to the south. Now, some political watchers believe that this is going to weaken the opposition. I read somewhere, I think it is one of the opposition leaders also said that it's going to be to the advantage of the APC if that happens. And in the mix of that is the Goodluck Jonathan. The former president has not categorically said he's going into the race, but the speculation has refused to go away.
Well, I'm not surprised again. Whether it's even after this morning, I think one of the newspapers I read online will say serious effort is being made by some people of PDP to move it to be back into the I've also taken the president telling it to be that because it's other Nigerian so for that reason can be way. And the so they are he did it in the party, he was able to fix the control. And as per the Goodluck Jonathan, I don't know, I think by now the man should have been able to make up his mind about what he wants to do. Whether he wants to run or he wants to run. He wants to get quiet and try to study this. He wants his best interest. If they are top-minded, election is value what they are able. Yes, it's going to be in 2027, but 2027 February, that's when we go to have election. We actually have only next year for the electioneering. So if you want to know, I think what PDP is trying to do, one of actually is that they are looking at who can give Bola Tinubu to run for his money and divide this out. They know that Southwest will vote for Bola Tinubu, come what will. But they are still at South and Southeast. And they know that if Goodluck Jonathan throws his back into the ring, the entire South region will most likely flow with him. And being a former president, who people now have seen and compare and contrast, they win some sympathy votes across the country. But he needs to understand that he left power 10 years ago, and Atiku, I would say he cannot win again. Because I saw that in Ghana. John Mahama, that is now the current president of Ghana, lost 3 election cycles ago. He lost to Nana Akufo-Addo, and Nana Akufo did 2005 years to 10 years. So, John Mahama now won this election. But one thing with the John Mahama's case was that he keeps contesting. He never left the scene. He was consistent. He contested, lost to Nana Akufo-Addo first, lost to second time. Then when Akufo thought when his second term bid was over and the first president was nominated to take his place, Mahama was able to defeat it. But in the case of Goodluck Jonathan, since 2015, that left the structure of its own, and speaking at his head, and in shambles, we have not heard about him mediating any of the conflict. So he has more or less just left the party for them to manage. And don't even say attend BOT meeting or the now they are going to see what message will you say. You thought that after leaving the office and people have slaved in the last 10 years, they will not hand over the party to Rock. And when you have been in a kind of political advantage. So I think former President Goodluck Jonathan needs to think about that, because when you look at the trajectory of former President Muhammadu Buhari, you could see Muhammadu Buhari from 2003 to 2015 was consistent. He never got the opportunity to contest at every election. He lost, contested in 2007, lost. When he knew that he may not get the ticket of ANPP in 2011, what did he do? The moment he lost in 2011, and the moment he lost in 2007, he made effort to go and establish his own party, which he called CPC. Yeah. And it was the party on the platform of CPC he contested in 2011, which he won. So he was never out of the mind of people. He kept active. But Goodluck Jonathan, for the last 3 electoral cycles, he has been off the radar. He didn't contest the 2019 election. He didn't contest 2023 election. Now they are pulling him to come and contest in 2027. And even as of now, probably 1 year to the election, he has not made up his mind. I don't know whether he thinks others should work for him to come and read. Because the last next meeting, he was not there. The meeting had thrown the party to the south. He was not there. And we have never even seen him calling with Wilson Wike and other fielding parties to kind of engage. He never did that. So it was really doing the ambassadorial ambassador president to take position of the whereas as a boy trying to make it conflict and all of that. So it should continue along that trajectory, because we now contest and lose. Aside from the legality of it, because that is still in contention.
Exactly.
Whether he has the legitimacy to contest, whether he after, because of the constitutional alteration, which says that if you have served as the tenure of your principal, you can only do one more time. Some people are saying it cannot be with retroactive effect because it came into force. I think when the incident happened long before then. But whatever it is, I don't want to offer a legal opinion on that. But on moral ground and on the fact that he has not really been involved in any politics in the last 10 years, I think he needs to cut his cost, because the city of Igbo PDP is in doubt. As in the last question you asked me, which is still giving conditions for them to support the oath of the next meeting at the elective convention, which is for November 2016. And both we and in my government in Oyo State, the candidate after managing PDP. And the last time, for the government, that was looking to go to the south. We came up last week with some former governors and said, unless we meet these 6 demands, we are not going to, we are going to contest the validity and legitimacy of this. So that crisis is still there. And I'm not saying someone like Goodluck Jonathan, who is the only president of the party has produced after Obasanjo. Obasanjo has said that he's done with partisan politics. But at least Jonathan has not made that formal announcement. He should have been able to waive it, call the giving parties to order, mediate, and that has given us the privilege of seeing that he's still interested in active politics. But so I've left the stage like 2 years ago and maintain some quietness around politics, only from people respond to him to come and join politics. And I think it needs to have a serious thinking.
I think we have lost Jide there. Maybe we'll try to reach out to Jide again. All right, Jide is back on the line. Jide, can you just conclude your thoughts before we move on to some other issues?
My conclusion, if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Is that former President Goodluck Jonathan